Hello and welcome to this beginner's guide tutorial on creating a login form in Java. So today we're using Netbeans and I'm going to set this application up the same way I do any other application in Netbeans. So new project, I'm going to select Java projects, Java application, hit next. I'm going to type a name for my project. I'm just going to call this project simple login. So as usual, I'm going to use a dedicated folder for storing libraries. And because it's a GUI, I'm not going to create my main class. I'm going to hit finish. So now I have my simple login and I have my source packages here. So I would create a new JFrame form in my source packages. And this is going to be my login form. I'm going to create a package here to store my login form. So now I have my login.java and this would be my login form here. So I'm just going to set some properties on this login form. So for my title, I'm going to put simple login app. And I'm going to go ahead and design my interface for this. So I will put a J label here that I'm now going to edit the text. So I'm going to need two labels on here, one for user ID and one for password. I am going to need a text field. This is where I'm going to put my user ID. And I will need a password field, which is where the user will type in the password. So I'm going to have a login button and an exit button on my screen here. So now that I have my simple interface designed, I am going to go ahead and change the variable names and what these labels say. So for my J label 2, I am going to set that to say user ID. For my J label 3, I'm going to set this to say password. For my text field, I'm going to change the variable name to user. And I'm going to edit the text and remove that JText field 1 from there. I'm also going to change the variable name for my password field and I'm going to call it pass. And I'm going to edit the text and remove the text that's inside there. For my J button 1, I'm going to change my variable name. I'm going to call it login btn. And I'm going to edit the text to say login. For my next button, I'm going to change the variable name to exit btn, and I'm going to edit the text to say exit. So now that I have my simple login fields defined, I have my login screen created, I am now going to create another form that's going to represent my application. So again, it's going to be a new JFrame form, and I'm going to call this my main application. So right now I'm just using this as a placeholder, so I'm not going to design anything much in here. So I now have my login form and my main application form. So now I'm going to go and edit the source code for my login form. And I'm going to do this by double clicking on the login button. So I'm going to select my login button, and I'm now going to double click, which is going to be my login button action performed. So this is going to be what's going to happen when the user clicks the login button. So when this login button is pushed, I would like to evaluate the user ID and password, and with a successful login, I will be moving to the main application. With an unsuccessful login, it will move to a message window that will inform the user that the user ID and password is incorrect. So here I'm going to define two string variables for user ID and password. And that will be user.getText. And my other variable for password will take the field password or pass.getText. So you will notice that the getText for password has a strikes through on it. So there's a line drawn through it. And this is basically your IDE telling you that there is a newer way of doing this and there's a better way of doing this. It will not prevent it from working. So we're just going to go ahead with this. It's a basic beginner's guide, so we're not going to go into too much detail with this. So now I'm going to use an if statement. So my syntax here is if password dot equals, and this is where I'm actually going to put the password. So my password here is word, and my user ID equals user. Sorry, this should actually be password, and this should be Okay, so if word dot equals parse and user1 equals user, I will close my login screen or dispose of my login screen. So I would do this dot dispose. And then I will open my main application screen. And to do that, my syntax would be new main application dot set visible true. So to go over this again, my password is the word word, and my user ID will be the word user1. So my user ID is user1, my password is word. So if these two conditions are true, we will get rid of my login screen. So I will dispose my login screen, this dot dispose, and I will open the main application screen. Else, I'm going to use a J option pane message dialog. So you would notice that my J option pane is highlighted with a red underline, and that's because I have not imported the relevant class. So I'm going to do that now. I can just hit Alt Enter, and I can import javax.swing.j option pane. So that would be my code for my login button. Let's go back to the design view, and I'm going to code my exit button now. So again, I'm just going to double click on the exit button, and that's going to take me to my exit button code. And the syntax for that is system.exit 0. So let's run this application now. And to do this, I have to make sure that my main project, so I'm going to go to run main project, simple login. Then I'm going to run this. The first time I run it, it's going to ask me which window do I want to open, or which form am I going to open or put into the main class. So I'm going to use the login form. So it's going to be simple login.login. So my login application is here. So I'm going to put in my user ID. Let me first try with an incorrect user ID and password. So I'm going to try JSON password 1234. So here I got my message user ID or password is incorrect. So let me try the correct one. That would be user1, and the password is WORD. And I'm now into my application, or my application placeholder. So that's it for today's tutorial. I certainly hope it was helpful to you. If it was, please click like, subscribe, or share. I'll join you again for another tutorial in the near future. Thank you.